Hi everyone, my name is AJ.
My name is Deborah, and we'll be your host for tonight. And we want to welcome you back to Klesis Live.
Yes, and for those of you guys joining us for the first time, you might be wondering, what is Klesis? Well, we are a college Christian fellowship for students in the Pacific Northwest, but you don't have to be in the PNWs to check out Klesis Live or hang out with us.
That's right. And Klesis means divine appointment or divine invitation in Greek. And we want to invite you to join us each week as we'll be live streaming content every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time, where we'll be having fun together, learning a little bit more about the Bible, and hopefully getting to know each other too. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe here on our YouTube, as well as follow us on Instagram at Klesis.Seattle.
All right, so last week we asked the question, is a hot dog a sandwich?
It's a
and of
taco.
course, we all know it is not
It's
a
a
taco,
taco.
but is indeed a sandwich.
It's a taco.
Anyways, that was last week. This week, we are going to ask the question, what is the best type of cookie?
All right.
What do you think?
Well, my personal favorite, and the one that we all know is the best, is the classic chocolate chip cookie. Not using milk chocolate or dark chocolate, but semi-sweet chocolate chips. That's right.
I see. So, you don't want it not too sweet, not too bitter, but, it's like the Goldilocks flavor in between. Yeah, okay, that's pretty good, Snickerdoodles, though. I am a big fan of Snickerdoodle cookies. That is where it's at. It's like horchata in a cookie. And then, if you're eating it with milk, then you got your glass of horchata right there.
It's like double horchata.
I mean, nothing wrong with that, right?
That's right.
So,
Well, I never thought about it that way. And I will say Snickerdoodles, I think, are probably like my second favorite cookie. So they're pretty all right. But yeah, I can see there on the chat that Jordan Chan agrees with me. Chocolate chip is what's up. Let's go. Hey.
and if you want to make Kevin Howe happy, just give him some Oreos.
Oreos.
But don't give Aaron peanut butter.
No.
He'll die. He's allergic to peanut butter.
That's messed up.
Anyways, I'll get him some Snickerdoodle cookies.
All right, moving on.
All right, so we're going to check out our first segment of the night, which is GG! All right, this is where Gerald takes his 4 contestants in some whack scenarios where there is no rewards, but only narrow escaping hot sauce punishments. So, let's check that out. Take it away, Gerald.
Okay, Johnny, you ready?
All right.
Jake, ready? Let's go. Okay, all right, I'm gonna throw a first pitch. All right, so
That's it.
3, 2, 1.
Welcome to GG, where losers are going to lose and haters going to hate. Today we'll be featuring a water episode where different Klesis members will be duking it out over a series of minigames where they have to deal with ice-cold water. Of course, to balance it all out, losers of every round will be punished by the Hot Ones inspired hot sauces. For the first game today, we'll be doing a good old-fashioned home run derby. Each contestant will be given 10 pitches to try and get as many hits as possible. Whoever gets the most hits wins. But here's the catch. We'll be pitching them water balloons.
Why are you trolling me? Johnny!
Oh my god!
Exactly. Strike, baby.
Oh, don't throw, don't throw. Ooh, there we go. Four, 5. Oh!
Getting Gerald wet.
Okay, wow. Oh! Dude. Oh! You're aiming at me!
Hey, that's your fault. There you go.
Okay.
Somebody count.
Alright, so next batter up is Jake. I'm getting more wet.
There we go.
Oh.
Alright, so Johan was the winner of the first round.
Boom. Second chili is pretty good. We're in the throat. It's a little spicy.
Not bad.
We're good.
Water roulette. I'll be filling a water cap with both ice and water. Each participant will have to draw a card from a deck, and if the card is red, they have to pull a lever off their cap. Pull the wrong lever, and ice cold water will start leaking on their head. Whoever lasts longest wins.
Oh my god. Are you serious? The first one? Are you kidding me? Oh, that's actually really cold.
This deck is rigged.
Oh.
Alright, close.
We've never gotten the black card yet. See you, Carlos. Bye.
The first one draw black.
Nope.
Alright. Okay. 50-50. And then another 50-50. Yep. Here we go.
Like 100% right there.
Oh, Jake.
You alright, buddy?
Alright, so the winner of the second round was Jake.
Wow.
Champ.
How there was, fix a little bit.
Oh, that's why. I was like, that's nothing.
A chip?
I think the worst part is like the back of your throat.
Depends on where the hot sauce like trails down, I think. Mine like went underneath my tongue.
Oh.
So like I kind of feel it there, but it's okay.
The hot sauce trail.
Yeah, the hot sauce trail.
The finale game for today, we're going to do a shootout. I'll be filling a dunk hat with both ice and water. Another player will be given a souped up Nerf gun, and they'll get 6 shots to hit the target. And just saying the obvious, hit the target and the dude will get wrecked. Whoever hits the target in the fewest shots wins. Alright, so the next shooter up is Johan Choi, and so best of luck to you.
Headshot. Headshot.
Yikes.
Did it hurt?
A little bit. It's okay. Johan's a bad shot.
Whoa! The gun's just inaccurate, okay? The gun's just inaccurate.
Alright, so the next shooter up is Carlos, so best of luck to you.
Headshot.
Yeah, my fault.
Alright, so the next shooter is Jake Mashmit, and so best of luck to you.
Headshot.
100% has more accuracy.
Yeah. I thought one was gaming for sure.
So next shooter up is Johnny Chen. So good luck.
Headshot.
So scary.
I am.
Oh, I felt like he was.
So I feel bad for Jake.
I feel bad for me too.
So you're exempt.
Let's go.
Oh, please don't put a lock, please. No! Oh my, Gerald, stop, bro!
Oh!
My bad. Oh shoot.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers. Cheers.
Carlos. I see that you're on.
What are you talking about? My throat hurts. Yeah. There's no point in winning the first game. Because you're gonna get the worst hot sauces later anyways. Should've just won the third game. Why did I win the third game?
I know you got him.
Oh.
One more chip.
Good.
On your mark, get set, go!
All right, not gonna lie, that does look kind of refreshing. It has been a hot summer after all.
So what I'm hearing you say is that you want to volunteer for GG.
No, but I mean, I'll do it if you do it.
So then that means we're not doing it. All right, moving on.
Sorry, Gerald.
Today we're going to be rolling out a new segment for y'all, and it's called Thumbs Up, where our friend Jade will be sharing different Christian resources with us.
And after that, we are going to be hanging out with our friend Aaron and Johnny in 5 and 5. So let's check out those segments.
Hi guys, welcome to our first episode of Thumbs Up. My name is Jade and I just graduated from the University of Washington. Let's go Dogs. Now for those of you new here, we hope that through the show you'll go away having learned one or two things that'll really help boost your faith or learn something new about Christianity. So I hope you find this helpful. Now the first resource I want to introduce you to is the Bible Project. Now the Bible Project guys are pretty awesome. And by the way, their headquarters is located right in Portland. So if you're tuning in from Oregon, you guys should definitely visit them when this quarantine is over. Now these guys are pretty amazing. They have a video series that summarizes each book of the Bible, and it's not just summaries, but some really great insights and some awesome drawings that help you track with what's going on. Now they also have some really interesting series on Hebraic word study, and these special theme-based videos really dive deep into the different motifs or themes in the Bible like the water, temple, spiritual beings, and how they all tie in together. Now one of my personal favorites is actually their How to Read the Bible series. And I remember when I was watching this series, I felt like I was thrown back into AP English class and I was just mind blown by all the literary techniques that the Bible has that I never really knew about, and the deeper meaning behind the stories that I grew up hearing as a kid at church. Now, I hope you guys visit this resource and find it as helpful as I did. And if you do, be sure to let us know in the chat next week. Bye, everyone.
Hi, I'm Johnny. I'm a junior at UW. I study physics, and I'm from Taiwan.
And so, Johnny, this week's challenge is called Pick Your Poison. So we had some ingredients provided by, not our sponsors here, but things I picked up from Safeway. You're actually going to be choosing the question that you answer. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring in three soda cans, and then you're going to pick one of the three, and then your question is going to be taped to that soda can. So you just have to peel it off, read out the question, and then answer it, and then you can take a gulp of whatever concoction is in your soda can.
Are you doing it?
Yeah, so I'll be, because I like to participate in this, I will be taking one of the remaining two soda cans. Here you go. Feel free to pick one right there. Cool, I will pick this one here.
Not bad. Tastes like apple juice.
I think I ended up with the vegetable juice. That was not good.
If you were to insert yourself into a universe of any movie, what movie would you pick? Ooh. I'd probably pick one where everyone has superpowers. And hopefully I get superpowers.
You wouldn't just be one of like the lame ducks that just walking around without any superpowers.
Eh?
Do you have like a particular like superpower like that you would want? Like if you had one superpower?
I think just for like flashy showiness, like telekinesis.
Okay, so the one where you can move stuff with your nice. Yeah. Next question. Yeah, go ahead and pick your question here.
All right.
From the middle, nice. Oh, that's all right. All right. Well, I guess my decision's made for me. Taking a look, just like inspect. Just go for it. Here, watch it.
Wow.
Okay. I think I actually ended up with the apple juice, and I think it was some kind of seltzer water. I believe, just judging by the color, that you ended up with the acai juice right here.
What is one pet peeve you have? I don't like it when people explain technical subjects with non-technical terms. So like in my CS class, if people just like say stuff without using the terminology, I get like a little irked.
So the theme for this third set of drinks here is they're all chocolate. They all have some kind of chocolate.
Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah. Go for it.
Oh man, it's like chocolate milk and Cheetos.
Mine wasn't that great either. I think you either ended up, yeah, I think one of these has like, I think the wasabi paste in with chocolate milk. And then the other one I put was like a ramen spice packet. Yeah.
Okay, let's see. What does your ideal Saturday look like? Probably try and wake up early.
Try?
Yeah.
Like what's early?
Like 8 a.m. Spend the whole day out with friends. Somewhere like nice and outside during the morning. Like play some sports. And then like in the afternoon probably go in the city somewhere and like do something fun like bowling or yeah, just like hang out, maybe watch a movie, go back to my living room and like play some music.
I think now the tastes are just starting to like aggregate. This fourth round here, actually I don't think we have too many things here, but it's like energy drink related.
Oh, sick. It tastes like coffee and cough syrup.
Oh, close. Okay, so I think you had coffee and orange juice.
Alright, what is one piece of advice you would give to students about taking online classes? I think one piece of advice I give is to just plan out your days, because you can get distracted really easily and just end up with like a long spell of days at home where you don't get much done. Yeah, I think just like planning out your days first thing in the morning has been really helpful for me.
Thank you for sharing. I don't have any more questions, but before we go, I have one last set of soda cans that we are gonna. Two of these are like these weird orange juice combinations, and then one of these is a frozen lemonade.
Oh.
All right, that's what you think is good. Cheers.
Cheers.
That wasn't frozen lemonade.
That wasn't frozen lemonade.
Yeah, that was disgusting. Here, how about this? To close out, we go on a semi-high note. Why don't you check if that's actually frozen lemonade? Yay! All right. So thank you for joining us for this week's edition of 5 and 5, and we hope to see you next time. Thank you. Thank you, Johnny.
Thanks for having me.
Yep. All right. Bye.
All right, so you guys might be wondering, who's this dude joining us on the screen? Well, we are moving to our next segment, Real Talk, and joining us, we have a very special guest all the way out in Texas. Please welcome Aaron Sang. All right, Aaron, for all our viewers, could you please just introduce yourself real quick? Tell us a little bit more about you.
Hey everyone, my name is Aaron. I'm currently a junior here at the UW studying health informatics. I was originally born in Iowa. We moved to Texas and then to Shanghai, China, where I spent all my academic years. And yeah, now I'm back in Seattle. Outside of school, I'm big into sports, especially basketball, soccer, and most recently football.
All right. Okay, so Aaron, I know that you are a huge basketball fan. So who's your favorite team and who's your all-time favorite player?
Being from Texas, I'd have to say I'm a Dallas Mavericks fan. I actually have a head-to-toe gear from the Mavericks, including a jersey and a Mavericks warm-up jacket, because I honestly thought I had a shot at the NBA when I was around like 12 years old. And when people say their all-time favorite player, you have your staples, LeBron, Kobe, Michael Jordan, or someone famous. But to be honest, my favorite player is LiAngelo Ball. And for those of you who don't know who that is, LiAngelo is currently playing for a developmental team in the NBA.
Wow, LiAngelo.
All right, all y'all, Chino Hills, California. There you go. All right. So, Aaron, in the times that we've gotten to ball at IMA, back in pre-COVID days, I've gotten to hear a little bit about your story with basketball, actually. And, I remember you telling me how you were set to have this really awesome senior year in high school on the team, but it didn't go as planned. Could you tell us a little bit more about that story?
Yeah. Well, when we started going to my senior year, our team was on track for our first championship in school history. And, marketing had my picture up on our athletics wall for our school. And I remember playing really well in our first game. But in the second game, one of the opponents had a cheap shot on me and I sustained a concussion. They're putting me out for around the first half of the season. And when I was finally cleared to play, during the next practice, I sustained a torn ligament in my left ankle. And, basically taking me out for around another month. When the season was over, I lost my starting position. I lost 2/3 of the season. And my coach had lost all faith in my ability. And, by the way, I really did not want to disappoint this coach because he not only was a coach to me, but he also taught me in my freshman year, and we've been pretty decent friends.
Man, that's really stressful. I know you had a really big injury, right?
Yeah. I mean, so I used to run track and cross country back in college, actually, and I was supposed to compete in this really big conference meet, and right before I got a stress fracture, took me out for the whole season. Like it sucked. It was the worst, and I feel that, man. I feel that.
Yeah. So I mean, your star season is gone. How did you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, naturally, just let me question God. Why did God have to do this to me? Honestly, I was mad at God for a long time. When I was younger, I kind of learned that God will provide. And that's all I thought he was. I thought that whenever I needed something, good grade, the starting position, a conversation to go a certain way, I could depend on God for the outcome. But, when things did not go my way, I was quick to point my finger at God and to point out his shortcomings for the plans I thought were best fit for myself. And in this situation, there were two characters, just me and God. And, obviously my ego will not let me point my finger at myself. So it had to be God. But after some time of guessing around, I wonder if it really was God, but not his fault, but his way of telling me something through these experiences.
Yeah, so I mean that's a pretty rough experience, and I'm curious to know, as you began to wonder those things and you even ask these questions, where did that search for those answers take you?
Yeah, well, I came to this group because I just happened to have a friend from a youth group back at home that ended up coming to UW 2 years before I did and joining college ministry here. I started to read about and to listen to many sermons that emphasize the gospel and the magnitude of Jesus' sacrifice for our lives. And because of what he did, Christians are able to actively seek God and to be one with him again. I realized that I had an incomplete view of God, and I'm still struggling to understand that today. I always thought that Jesus died on the cross for us. Thank you, Jesus, but let me live my life. But if we do that, we kind of downplay who God is and we put ourselves above his place in our life. And when we disrespect our heavenly Father, the same way a son disrespects his earthly father, God isn't able to give us the wisdom and helping hand to really guide our lives.
So, how did that play out in your life then, Aaron?
As I reflect on my life, I've been living a life completely opposite of what the gospel tells us to do. I've always been talking the talk, but never walking the walk. As a Christian, there are times when God will want to humble our lives because we have strayed from the path that he has chosen for us. For me, being as stubborn and tunnel vision as I was back then, I believe that God really had to strip away that one thing that I loved from me, and which was basketball. And I believe that God had to do these things in order for me to take a step back reflect on my life and to see the wrongdoings I'd done that continually downplayed what Jesus did for us on the cross.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. So yeah, it seems like it was that really unfortunate circumstance that caused you to see this different perspective, right, of who God is. And so as you look back since then, how has your life changed as a result of the gospel and as of coming away from this point in your life, having learned all the lessons that you learned?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, now that I look back on how God has changed me from the experience, I mean, I see myself doing things that I would not have imagined I would do. You know, back then I was so caught up in what others thought about me. If there was something embarrassing or something that would hurt my ego, I wouldn't do it. You know, what I was concerned with was self-preservation rather than helping others to better their lives. Now, you know, after going through the things I went through and seeing the greater success in life, I'm able to let that ego go and to get out there to really interact with others, not afraid to look like something I'm not. And for me, growing up, I always felt that I had to do right by myself. And in order to step up, you know, the ladder of life, and because of that mentality and the fact that I'm super introverted, I never took the time to build strong relationships. You know, it was not how I could build others up, but how I could build myself up. So, but as I continued down my journey of faith, I realized that part of being a Christian is prioritizing these relationships. You know, for me, that means going out and talking to others that I would not otherwise talk to if it were not for God changing my perspective on life.
Yeah, man, thanks for sharing that. So, you know, for our viewers here who are also athletes and, you know, those who aren't, like myself, yeah, what would you want them to walk away, you know, knowing or learning from your story?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know that this story is being, you know, being a high school athlete does not resonate with everyone, but I do know that everyone has something that they're chasing after. You know, whether it's, you know, making tons of money, saying that you work for Google, or even being known to your friends. We all have that thing that we're chasing after. But if you have had a similar experience as me, I would like to ask you this question. You know, where will all these things that I worked so hard to achieve when I pass away? The answer that I found is that, you know, these things become irrelevant. So like in Matthew 6:20, it says, you know, but store up yourself treasures in heaven where moth and vermin do not destroy and where thieves do not break in and steal. And if you're wondering, you know, how am I supposed to exactly, you know, store up these treasures in heaven? Then, you know, if you keep on reading in Matthew 6:33, it says, you know, but seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you. In other words, you know, it's just putting God first. For me, that means starting off my day with God. On a normal day, I like to keep myself, you know, pretty busy, but I give myself a non-negotiable every single day, which is to crack open my Bible and journal, to have honest conversations with God, and to learn more about his plans for me through the Bible. And as I look back, as I look to the future, I feel grateful for these lessons that I've learned through these experiences, and I'm excited to continue to pursue the relationships I've started with others. And, you know, just as a last thought, I believe that, you know, personally, I believe that, you know, you can pursue good grades, a stable career, even, you know, try to make the NBA if you're like 12-year-old Aaron. But, you know, in the end, none of these really should get in the way of your relationship with God. You know, better yet, we should do all these things with the intent of glorifying God's name.
Yeah. Awesome. Aaron, thank you so much for sharing your story. And
so
really appreciate you taking the time to spend with us this evening. And so we're going to be saying bye in a bit, but you know, before we go, just wanted to read the verse that Aaron mentioned. It's again in Matthew chapter 6, verse 19 to 21. It says, "Do not lay up for yourselves treasures on earth where moth and rust destroy, where thieves break in and steal, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven where neither moth nor rust destroys and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." So this verse gave me some thoughts, but before we go into that, I just want to say goodbye to you, Aaron. Thank you for joining us, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again here in Seattle in a socially distanced way.
Yes, bye, Aaron. Thanks for sharing your story.
Bye.
High
Soon five. There we go.
Boom.
Awesome. All right. See ya. So cool. Anyways, just wanted to share some thoughts with you guys real quick. I'm going to reset this and here we go. All right. Thank you guys for being patient, by the way. Really appreciate it. This is hard. It's hard stuff. All right.
Well, I know that you said you wanted to say some thoughts, share some thoughts. So why don't you go ahead and share some thoughts? I'll go ahead and get out and actually jump on the chat. Get out of your way. And jump on the chat. So I'll let you go ahead and do that.
Thank you. All right. So I wanted to flip back to, that verse that Aaron was talking about, right? And, he said something interesting in his story, right? That we're all chasing after some treasure, right? And, that verse that he referenced talks about treasure. Matthew 6:19-21. It says to do not lay up for yourselves treasures on earth where moth and rust destroy and where thieves break in and steal, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven where neither moth nor rust destroys. This verse says that there's treasure that's not worth chasing. Treasure on earth. You know what's treasure nowadays? Maybe it's not a chest full of gold, but maybe more like a bank account with a large number, titles like MD or CEO, or maybe that coveted blue verified symbol on like Instagram or something. These things that are very tangible and visible. Well, the Bible says where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. In other words, what you prize most, what you value, it's where you derive your joy, meaning, and significance from. Like Aaron, he treasured being this awesome basketball player, and you could tell that he derived his joy, meaning, and significance on playing well because when he got injured, it was like an existential crisis for him. You could say that he experienced what Jesus describes in verse 19, moth and rust destroying his treasure. For him, that was his injuries. For some people this past year, it was the pandemic. And if it isn't these unfortunate circumstances that destroy our treasure, things rust and decay in time. Our bodies decay. Even the latest technology decays. Social media patterns decay. Like 5 years ago, Vine was the big thing, and now it's all about TikTok. Or thieves can break in and steal actual material possessions or even statuses. Like someone younger and better is just going to come along and beat your record or outperform you. And if these treasures are where you find your joy and significance in, where's that going to leave you? But I want to note that sometimes it's not a bad thing to experience moth, rust, and thieves. Sometimes experiencing these things can expose the truth about treasures on earth, that they're so fleeting and fickle and aren't really worth investing in, like what Aaron shared about. David Brooks says in his book that there's this ego self that is the self that's all about what I can do, what I can achieve, and what I can accomplish so that I can make my mark, build an identity. But he also says this: there is a deeper self underneath that can't be seen unless the ego self falls away. We have a season when we chase the shallow things in life. We are not fulfilled. Then comes hardship, which exposes the heart and soul. The heart and soul teach us that we cannot give ourselves what we desire most. As Brooks says, treasures on earth are shallow and unfulfilling, and sometimes it takes a hardship to show that, and to unveil that there is a heart and soul that longs for more. Something that cannot be destroyed by moth and rust, that cannot be stolen by thieves. So what is that? Well, looking back at our verse, Jesus says that it's treasure in heaven. It says, lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven where neither moth nor rust destroy and where thieves do not break in and steal. And because such a thing exists, it means that there are sources of significance and value that can't be taken away and won't degrade with time and circumstance. So, what are these things? What is treasure in heaven? Isn't it a relationship with God? Isn't it knowing who God is, the Creator and our Heavenly Father? And when we understand this, then we can know who we are, where we belong, and our whole purpose in relation to who God is. And these things, identity, purpose, and worth, can never be taken away if they're found in God. And when we uncover who we really are and how we belong to a grander story of God's narrative, life takes on a whole new dimension. Think about it this way. If Hagrid never visited Harry Potter and told him who he was, the story might have been more like, and Harry grew up, got a job, and retired happily at 60 years old. The end. It certainly wouldn't have made all 7 books, and it wouldn't have been a best-selling novel. But when Harry discovers his true identity, that he's not only a wizard, but the chosen one to defeat Voldemort and bring peace to the wizarding world, man, his life is so much grander, richer, and fuller. And sure, it wasn't easy. There was hardship and sacrifice. But despite that, it was so much greater. And in the same way, when we understand our identity as sons and daughters of God, the cosmic king and creator of the universe, and he wants to use us in his grand mission to bring the lost souls into his family, man. And when we join in on this adventure of a lifetime, our lives are far richer and grander than what they would be without him. This is Christian life, and indeed it is a treasure. But it's not like saving up for retirement where you invest now and only enjoy it after you turn 65, right? Yes, we are investing in the future, but we do get to start enjoying it now. And as we invest in a relationship with God, we experience God transforming our lives now, giving us a higher calling and purpose to live for, and giving us a group of people to do Christian life with. And this is the life that Klesis is all about. Maybe you're new to all this, and the idea of knowing God is just strange. Well, one way you can invest in treasure in heaven is to just keep learning more about God and tuning into Klesis Live, signing up for small groups where you can ask questions about God and explore Christianity, not to mention experiencing close friendships along the way. Well, maybe you've heard this before, and perhaps it's worth asking, do you take your relationship with God seriously? Are you investing in it like it's treasure? Well, one way to do that is like what Aaron said, reading God's Word every day and learning more about Him. Another is by finding a spiritual mentor who's just a little bit older and can give you godly wisdom from their life experience.
Ooh.
Oh, hey.
Wow. I love Harry Potter.
Good books.
Thanks for sharing your thoughts with us about Matthew 6.
All right. Before we log off, we wanted to go ahead and share a couple of announcements with y'all. First thing that we want to talk about is small groups.
Yeah, so AJ mentioned it during his Real Talk, but we wanted to give you guys an opportunity to sign up for small groups right now. So we're actually going to flash the link to sign up on the screen and give you guys some time to sign up. So it should appear now.
Right now.
It's on the screen. Yeah, sign up for small groups.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on the screen.
Okay.
Yeah, sign up for small groups. Yeah.
All right. If you didn't do it, you got to do it. Okay. Go to Klesis.Seattle, Seattle.Klesis. Go to our Klesis website and
the link is in the description. Yeah.
Yes. There you go. Okay. Yeah. So we'll have a sign up link there. And all right. The last thing we wanted to mention was our weekly giveaway. This past week we announced our giveaway winner for the Amazon Echo Dot, and that was Clarissa S.
Hey.
Congrats again to you, Clarissa.
So for this week, we have another giveaway, and that is for a pair of Adidas Ultra Boosts. Man, we are really upping the Klesis shoe game. That's all I gotta say.
It's true.
So yeah, go ahead and check out our Instagram for more information about how to participate.
All right. And this week's code word is, drumroll please, improvise.
Sweet. All right. And yeah, go ahead and DM that. But we will see you all next Thursday, 7:30 Pacific Daylight Time, for the next episode of Klesis Live, where we'll be talking about true happiness. And we might even have some music, live music on this upcoming episode. So we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Later.